Dalai Lama apologizes after video asking child to suck his tongue sparks
Dolly Fondler. He
outcry.
likes fondling kids.
Sick ass.
Sucking on his tongue.
This Dalai Lama thing, like everything else, it always got more to it. Dalai Lama, I guess is he Tibetan or Chinese?
Come a lot being at Freaknik.
I wonder, how old was she? In the 90s, she had to be in her 30s.
She wasn't there.
She went to HBC. She went to HBCU. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Pervert.
Exactly. So he was on video. Let me just show. Let me just show this sicko right quick.
This is what the
I'm
Tibetan
sure y'all have already seen this
Buddhist
sicko.
people do.
Huh?
This is what the Tibetan Buddhist people do.
Let's see what he had. Let's see what they recorded.
My mama ain't never kissed me.
You're gonna say you didn't get enough love.
That's not enough love.
Oh, not on the lip.
No, she didn't kiss me on my damn lip. People thought he was righteous. Ew. Told people Buddha was on the low.
I'm not showing that.
My grandmother would say that shit unsanitary.
I'm not gonna show that part, but you can clearly tell the little boy was into
uncomfortable.
He was clearly uncomfortable.
Exactly. At least he didn't bend him over like the Catholics.
We don't know what he did behind the doors. I mean,
we don't know what he did after the cameras went off. He could have told that send the little boy back to his room.
Yeah. Let me just read some of this. The Dalai Lama has apologized after a video emerged showing the spiritual leader kissing a child on the lips and then asking him to suck my tongue at the event in northern India. In a statement,
my thumb.
In a statement, Monday, the office of the Dalai Lama said he wishes he apologized to the boy and his family as well as his many friends across the world for his hurt.
The only apology he should have got was the hands on the father and the mother too.
See, here's the thing: he's a spiritual leader. He has a lot of influence.
A spiritual leader that like kissing on boys and having them suck his tongue.
But here's the thing: in their culture, that's normal. In Tibetan,
we know.
In Tibetan culture, it is a sign of respect to stick your tongue out somebody. It be some strange. Look, man, for all the stuff we see in America,
that's fake shit they make up to do shit. That's what that is.
All the stuff we see in America, it seems, or the India.
Did he or did he not?
All the stuff we see them do, when you go outside of this country here, you realize there's some strange stuff everywhere. Like you just.
That's why the Babylon is just not America. It's worldwide to me.
Yeah, like when we talked about with the Afghanistan.
Oh my God!
2 years ago, when they talked about the Muslim men had something for the young boys.
They danced for them.
They had something for the young boys, dancing boys or something.
The dancing boys, they have them perform like women. They don't have their women dress up. They have boys.
Which is what's so strange. It's a situation where we're not going to make our women quote unquote whores. We're going to make the boys act like women.
We'll make the boys whores.
Yeah, and then when they get older, they'll do it to another young boy. And that reminds me of the Catholic Church, where they have this thing where they believe that you take a boy's innocence, you take a young boy's innocence because it gives you back the innocence you lost.
Because when you were all young. These religions are the same, just have different names on it.
Yeah, they all follow the same religion. And the ones who are closer to the original religion is Eastern. When I say original, I mean when you talk about what's his name, Nimrod and all them.
You was the one with the boy.
What car was it? Well, Pimp C.
Pimp C.
The boys and how you say it?
You was the one with the boy.
He was in the car with the boy.
What George said with the boys. That remind me of that.
I forgot the car. My culture.
Fur off his ass.
Exactly, Shelly. If it's cultural, then you ain't got no business. There's no reason to apologize. It's a misunderstanding. So you know what you did was wicked. Pedo vibes, Moloch worship too. Yeah. All these religions. Let's be honest. Even Christianity has adopted a lot of what they call what's the word? Somebody's not religious. Start with a P. Jesus Christ. Words that slip your mind. Damn. Not peasant. What's the word? I got it completely blank right now.
Ready or not, Nimrod was 100 men and I guess little boys. Can't be that normal.
I'm not even jealous. Even jealous.
You Seventh-day Adventist.
His Holy Office teaches
You're a
people.
Jesuit, George.
We talked about the Jesuits too. His apology came after a video exchange. We know all this stuff.
That shit ain't legit like Channel 40.
Now I want to show this video.
Oh, they told 50 to purchase his own channel.
Who?
They say start your own channel and get channel 50.
Channel 50? What channel you watch? 50.
50.
50.
Not 50.
Treat 50.
Paganism.
There we go. Thank you. Paganism. A lot of these cultures, a lot of these religions have adopted a lot of paganism
Practices.
And we look at Christianity. We look at when you look at Easter. That's not what it is. It's not Christmas. That's death. That's worship of death. Halloween and all those stuff. Even though I know how people who Christians say they don't.
Shit, they do. They have at churches. They have the night where you go get candy from the church. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Valentine's Day. All these are pagan holidays. So all these religions have adopted paganism inside their cultures.
They're worshiping the old gods.
Yeah.
That's why I like that. What's the name of that show? We talked about it last week. American Gods. I like that show.
American Gods.
Ignorance is bliss.
Is it?
Let my rod and staff. Let my rod and staff
come for you.
Damn.
That's what them Catholic priests be saying. Let me show you.
What the fuck is that?
To violently defend the Tibetan slave owning practice. Let's start with the receipts from 1951. To reunify China after their civil war, Mao Zedong wrote a detailed agreement reaffirming China's sovereignty over Tibet. On May 23rd, the Dalai Lama's representatives officially signed the agreement in Beijing. Then, the Dalai Lama sent a telegram to Beijing on October 24th, affirming his enthusiastic acceptance. He said, quote, "The Tibet government and people unanimously support this agreement, and they will actively support the People's Liberation Army in Tibet." 4 years after that, the Chinese government continued to respect the Tibetan theocracy, with the mutual understanding that Tibet would begin a transition away from feudal and oppressive practices. Both the Dalai Lama and the Panchen Lama were...
The Panchen Lama is the one who chooses who's going to be the next Dalai Lama. So keep that in mind. The Panchen Lama determines who's going to be the next Dalai Lama.
Repeatedly honored guests of the central government in Beijing. Katas, the long white silk scarves seen here, are the traditional Tibetan sign of welcome and respect. Both lamas were given a comprehensive tour of eastern China and granted rare access to top leadership. The 14th Dalai Lama was also appointed deputy chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. However, Tibet's failure to shift towards the central government's progressive policies became a problem. After 8 years of patience in 1959, with the encouragement and support of the CIA, the senior monks, and upper-class Tibetans, they challenged China's rule, resulting in an armed rebellion. To be clear, this is the United States causing death and destruction in order to prevent a country from eliminating feudalism and peacefully reunifying after war had already torn them apart. The feudal system in Tibet gave no rights or democracy to serfs, only to those who owned serfs. The central government retaliated harshly, raising tensions, and their brutal retaliation gave Western media sympathy when questioning China's sovereignty over Tibet. But all along, the CIA had been secretly collaborating with the Dalai Lama, and this is exactly what they wanted. This plaque is located at Camp Hale in Colorado, where ethnic Tibetans were trained for the rebellion against the Chinese.
Don't that sound familiar? The CIA training another group of people to go against another country? They trained the Tibetans to go against the Chinese.
Eventually, the CIA aided the Dalai Lama in leading Tibet for India and even arranged to have his so-called Escape from Red China's Tyranny filmed for propaganda use by Western media. Thereafter, the CIA funded activities of the Dalai Lama for many years with millions of taxpayer dollars. Simply put, the goal was to create problems for China, a country that the United States had called an ally only a decade earlier. To show you what I mean, I'll post the pro-China propaganda film the US created during World War II next. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, so we know that the Dalai Lama is aligned with CIA in America. That is, it's a placeholder for American influence. The same with the only true spiritual leader that they actually respect is the Pope. He is the spiritual leader of the world. America is the military wing of the world, and the UK is, or United Kingdom is the monetary wing of the world. That's where all the money flows. Now
they try to say he sits on the throne of the Christ, but he's actually sitting in the throne in place until the Antichrist comes on the scene, because we know the Pope is going to give the power to him.
Now I kept bringing this up. In 2020, I said, why the hell is the Dalai Lama in a bill for COVID relief? COVID relief bill affirms U.S. stance on successor to Dalai Lama. The Communist Chinese government should have no, this is from 2020. The Communist Chinese government should have no role in choosing the next Dalai Lama. U.S. lawmakers are expected to affirm Monday in all of its pages of 5,593 page coronavirus relief bill. Buried among the pandemic recovery provisions of the massive approximately $900 billion legislation expected to pass late Monday, it is an affirmation of Congress' proposal stance on the hot-button religious and political issue. It is the policy of the United States that decisions regarding the selection, education, and veneration, worship of Tibetan Buddhist religious leaders are exclusively spiritual matters that should be made by the appropriate religious authorities within the Tibetan Buddhist tradition and in the context of the will of practitioners of the Tibetan Buddhism. The passage reads in part. It goes on to state that the wishes of the 14th Dalai Lama, including any written instructions, a key role in the selection, education, and veneration of the future 15th Dalai Lama. The school of Tibetan Buddhism holds that its highest spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, is reportedly reincarnated with the new Dalai Lama recognized following the death of the prior. The current and 14th Dalai Lama, 85-year-old Tenzin Gyatso, has lived in exile in India since the 1950s. This Communist Party tightly regulates the practice of religion, forbidding unapproved faiths and exerting influence over those it doesn't permit. Well, if I'm not mistaken, this is the final Dalai Lama. They will not be choosing a Dalai Lama after this one dies. Why does America care?
Because he's being used as an asset.
Well, I know that part. But they said it. They actually said it publicly, and no one cared. So now, 2 years later, the Dalai Lama getting in some trouble. Is it possible? Because remember, he also got in trouble for something else. Do I got it here? He also got in trouble for a few years ago. The Dalai Lama said that, what did he say? Oh, he said the next Dalai Lama should be a beautiful woman, or a woman that's more beautiful than him.
No, he said the next Dalai Lama is going to be more attractive than him.
And then before that, he said that Europe is for Europeans when talking about the African refugees going into Europe. It sounded a lot like, what's his name from India? Gandhi. He was talking shit about Africans, but he just super peaceful. Everybody think he's so peace and love, but he was talking shit about Africans. But yeah, the Dalai Lama says that Europe is for Europeans. Lama.
The caves is for Europeans. That's where they come from.